Bama's kind of my go-to where I don't like to lay up front action on them because they kind of tell us how the game is going and they present opportunities to us. Last week they got off to a slow start, and about 5 minutes or so to go in the first quarter, we jumped on them over 27.5 for the first half, and they covered it. And they're that kind of team. So I don't like to put up front action on Bama because they're a good go-to for live action to either push your winnings or save you from a problem. But, this week I looked at Bama, and I'm on them in the first half again. Last week we took them over 27.5 first half. I'm looking at the first half at 18.5 and taking that over. That's less than 3 touchdowns, and that's one of my plays for Saturday.
Well, what's funny there is because they score with every part of a game. So there's 3 parts of a game. There's special teams, there's offense, and there's defense. But Alabama is always blocking a punt or returning a kick or pick sixes or scooping scores. Every game they seem to get one. So you're absolutely right. They can really, on a dime, they could go from 3-0 to 27-0.
Yeah. They can. The other one that I'm on that I posted for the members, this will be the 3rd week in a row now that we have an investment in a Penn State game. And the first week, Penn State won outright as dogs at Wisconsin. Last week, they won and covered a big one for us. I think it was 22.5. And I just kind of felt like that was going to happen. They got a left-handed quarterback, and God, the ball looks weird when he throws it, but he has got a cannon on him. But this is a whiteout game. They're going against Auburn, and I strongly believe the only reason that Auburn is even getting points in this game is because they're coming off of 2 games where they didn't really play a ranked opponent or even a Power 5 opponent. I got it at 5, and I'm taking Auburn. They put up 60 points 2 weeks in a row. That is hard for the 3 of us to do in the backyard against air, let alone against a Division I football team. I don't know that they go in and win it, but, Penn State, they should have won bigger last week against Ball State. They struggled against Wisconsin, and I think Wisconsin's going to play out to be a ho-hum kind of team. They're not very explosive on offense, so Auburn is SEC. I mean, that SEC, I mean, that's not for no reason. And Auburn, they usually go on some run where they should have been in the championship, but they lost like 2 weird ones, but then they're 10-2. So I love Auburn and taking the 5 points in that one.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I'm not a big Penn State and big game guy because they don't always show up. And if I'm going to ask, if you just cover my eyes and say, okay, the team on the left is the SEC and the team on the right is the Big Ten, I figure I got a 50% shot of having a good team coming out of the SEC, and Auburn is on that list. I got 3 teams in the, maybe 4 in the Big Ten that I could put to rest. And remember what I talk about with sports betting lessons, guys, is ask yourself, if this bet loses, will you be sick to your stomach? Because you just mentioned that a few minutes ago. I do it every single time I make a play. I say, if I don't want to bet this, or if I'm going to bet it, and I say to myself, if you don't bet it and it wins, will you be sick? If you bet it and it loses, will you be sick? And there are times I say yeah on bets because they would, and I'll make my play accordingly. Either I'll back off or I'll go in, because the last thing you want to do is really feel like you lost twice. You didn't get the money, and then you're kicking yourself because you like the play, but you didn't pull the trigger. So that's what I call my how sick to the stomach would I be tomorrow? And you mentioned it about Monday with the Chiefs.
Yep, that's just it with them. 6.5, I walk away from the Chiefs. The 8.5, but 3.5, coming off a very ugly performance.
I was my son and I were watching that game, and so what happened is Hill had a big play, right? And we laughed because him and Mahomes together, they have a second sense or something, and you can't stop that. I mean, it was the play where, remember, Hill stopped, caught the ball, the guy kept running, he turned around and ran the other 15 yards the other way into the end zone.